Okay, we're calling this meeting to order, and we have a short agenda. But it starts with me letting the clerk know that it's 9:39 a.m., and I'd ask everyone to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America and to our Texas flags. Commissioner Gonzalez?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Okay, and I note for the record that it is January 14th, 2022. We are in the Commissioner's Courtroom, third floor of the Nueces County Courthouse at 901 North Leopard. And I do certify that we have a quorum present. Commissioner Hernandez is here, Commissioner Gonzalez is here, myself, Commissioner Chesney, and Commissioner Mattis. I note for the record, but will you say hello formally? You are online.
Here, present. Here, present.
All commissioners are present, and therefore, as I said earlier, a quorum has been established. Can I see if there's any public comment at this time to come forward? Connie, anybody online?
Tim Dowling wishes to speak.
Wonderful. We'll move to Tim. I don't see anybody in the courtroom. Just doing a quick check on the, thanks, Connie. She'll check the hallway. Tim, welcome this morning. You may proceed.
Thank you, Judge Canales and Commissioners. It's good to see you again since I last saw you about 60 days ago. First, I would like to again commend you for the open process you used to adopt a redistricting map in real time on the evening of November 8th that led to the League of Women Voters giving you a well-deserved standing ovation that night. When we last visited with you, we talked about setting up an independent redistricting commission. And we would like the court to consider doing that again. There are many reasons for doing that. And we had asked when we talked to you last in November that you put on your agenda for your last January meeting the creation of an independent redistricting commission to draw the lines the next time that occurs. And the way we left it was that if you're satisfied with the map that was adopted in November 2021, we'd ask you to please adopt procedures later this year that will be used to redistrict in 2031 after the 2030 census comes out, so the Commissioner's Court will then have the benefit of this court's work and having enacted a procedure, which we didn't have ever before, for how to do this critical work that, if handled poorly, can result in expensive litigation and or discontent among one or more members of the court or the public. If you're not satisfied with the map that had to be drawn in a hurry in November 2021, although I'm happy with it and I haven't heard any complaints about it elsewhere, please set up an independent redistricting commission this year so that new lines, subject to final approval by the court, can be drawn before the next Commissioner's Court election in 2024. So what I'm requesting you to do today is first to place on your agenda for your next meeting, which I understand is January 26th, making a decision about setting up this commission. And second, during the time until that next meeting, please consider whether you would want to draw new lines in 2024 for that election or only for later elections. Thank you for considering my comments, and I hope I'll be discussing this with you at your next meeting on January 26th.
Thank you, Mr. Dowling. Having a chart brought to me and seeing nobody signed up and nobody else online, I'm going to proceed to regular agenda items. And again, today it is only one. It's listed as 3A1 in your packet. It is to, wow, that is loud. Sorry. It's 2A1 in your packet. And that's to discuss and consider the order adopting county election precincts, specifically the division of voting precinct 125 into voting precincts 125 and 128, resulting from the recent redistricting of county commissioners' precincts. What I'm going to do in order to allow this to come forward is give you a little background, and I'll call on Kevin Kieschnick first, Kara next. Ide, you could round it out. But just give us the background for the public's purposes, why we're doing that. Either one, that's a good one. That's, yeah, keep you safe, Kevin.
Thank you. And the way this came up is we were trying to do set up the voter registration new cards and get everything set up within the state system and also our local system for, and we were unable to split the precincts. We didn't know why it wasn't allowing us to do it. And then finally, Ralph Benavides, who is our Director of Voter Registration, had a moment. He goes, I think I remember back from a conference 11 years ago, you can't split a precinct. And I said, well, so I asked him to email the Secretary of State to see if maybe that was what the problem was, and lo and behold, yes, it was. You can't have two commissioners serving one precinct, so you can't split those. The only option was to create an additional precinct. If it was over the population limits, and so I asked him to send us the statute, which we forwarded to you guys, and that's how we came to where we're at right now.
Okay. So kudos to Ralph for remembering that it's not legal to split two precincts. And so then it goes to Kara, who can add some comments about how we determined like the number and just a little bit of background as to the maps that are before us today.
Thank you. So, yeah, thank you to Ralph for catching that. And thank you for y'all moving on this quickly. So we have an election coming up, a primary, and we need to get moving on that. Yeah, it's going to be, they have to be numeric, is all the precincts. So precinct 125, it's pretty simple. Precinct 125 right now, as it sits, it's in Commissioner 4 and Commissioner 2. In voting precinct 125. All you're going to do is use the redistricting map, which was already passed, which takes the portion of voting precinct 125 that Commissioner Precinct 2 is located in. You're going to rename that 128 and make that a new precinct.
And just go ahead and use names so that we can, Commissioner 2,
Is Judge Gonzalez, I'm sorry, Commissioner
Commissioner
Gonzalez.
Gonzalez.
And then Commissioner Chesney is Commissioner 4. So 125, which has always been in Commissioner Precinct 4, Commissioner Chesney, that's going to stay as 125. So really, half of the voters in 125 will only be affected as opposed to the entire. So it's pretty simple. All you're doing is making it a new precinct 128 that y'all have already passed those boundaries
Right.
with the new maps. That's it.
Okay. And I asked a couple questions and you've already answered them for me, but I think it's good for the public. Anytime we do something that we're changing, you want to make sure, have both parties, all three parties been contacted? And the answer was yes. And they're aware that they're going to message that they have a new number,
Right.
128.
128, and Kevin's office is responsible for the cards, the voter registration cards, and they will get those in the mail with their new precinct.
Okay. All right. So we have 125 and 128. And that's so that when that split occurred, we can be legal eagle. Is that correct?
Judge, I would make a motion for that adjustment.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. And then did anybody check legally with our redistricting lawyers? So that, I'm going to pitch now to you. There's like a little system here we have, if you don't mind.
Yes, so the person who was in charge of the redistricting, it was the one that it worked on
Blessed.
the order. Yes, that's correct. So everybody's is fine.
Okay, so we have checked on the front of the actual voter registration office. That would be Kevin Kieschnick. We've checked on elections, Ms. Kara Sands, and now we've gotten some background that it also goes, it's accurate as far as the, and so had we not done it, what would have been our peril? Had it not, it's not a legal redistricting, or it's not a legal precinct?
It's precinct. Your redistricting is legal. It's just the precinct itself.
Okay. And Jenny, you would concur with that? Okay. I don't know. It doesn't seem that way to me, but I'm going to have a motion and a second, and we have to do this in order to get voter registration cards. But I do think it indicates that we didn't do something right, and we should have been, that should have been flagged by redistricting lawyers. And it should have been flagged by us, and we need to be more mindful, because what transpired, which I asked, we had a special meeting to undo, I was the only person that voted not to go with that. Well, maybe I should say it in the other way. I was the person that voted to not have that split. And now that split has caused us an illegal transaction that has to be corrected in 125 and 128. So, I mean, we have no choice but to do it, but just please know that it does not happen because of nature. It happened
Judge,
because
wait.
of actions
I don't think-
that we did.
You know, Judge,
Judge, I
I
don't
think,
believe you voted against this. This was the redistricting plan that was done. That was a 5-0 vote, so you did not
you
vote
voted
against
twice.
this
Right,
for the
and then
record.
I
you voted
brought
for it
us-
twice.
Excuse
Twice
me.
you voted for it.
No, the second time I brought a
Go
motion
into
which
this whole
failed.
discussion now, so let's just vote for the
That was-
motion.
Judge, your
I'm
motion.
sorry,
that's-
I'm listening to Commissioner Chesney. Commissioner Chesney,
Thank you. I was just trying to finish my talk. What you voted against was a motion to change voting precinct 3 bank. That had nothing to do with this. That was simply a motion you made to amend that failed. So I think the record needs to clarify that you voted for the redistricting plans. You voted against the amendment, or you voted for an amendment that we all voted against, that you made to attempt to put voting precinct 3 back into mine. So I think we need to clarify the record on that. You voted for the redistricting plan. We voted against the amendment you made to attempt to bring the precinct 3 back into mine for on the Elizondo matter. So otherwise, because I think we need to, if you're going to be clear and transparent, then let's go get the minutes on this, because I don't think we want to pollute the record. I don't think you're stating correctly.
yeah, what I was stating was that the 125, the precinct 125 was messed with, basically. And that I was not, once we did vote for a redistricting process that we thought was fair and transparent. And then when we found out that there was a affected situation, yes, I brought that up so that we could make that amendment, and that did not pass. That's
Right.
what the record reflects.
But you
And
didn't
what-
vote against this 125 thing. You voted for it. And then you voted, you
Right.
voted for your amendment to attempt to put precinct 3
Right.
moved around.
That's
But not the overall
correct. That-
redistricting plan. That was a 5-0
That's
vote.
correct. Nobody's debating that. I'm not debating that.
Okay.
I'm not debating that at all. I'm saying that the 125 was at issue.
No.
At any rate, we're going to have to change it, otherwise we're not going to get voter registration cards out. And again, I'll be visiting with our redistricting lawyers to figure out why we're the ones figuring that out and not them. And I don't think we've heard from them on this matter, other than that I'm letting you know that Jenny said we're good.
Judge, I think also, if I'm not mistaken, I think I was informed that this was going to probably have to happen anyway because of the growth of that precinct. And Kara, correct me if I'm wrong on that this was going to have to occur because that precinct was getting so large anyway. Is that right, Kara? Am I mistaken?
You are
So
correct.
this was going to have to happen anyway. Certainly redistricting attorneys, I agree with you on that, Judge. They should have caught this, that we shouldn't have done it, but we could have then addressed it right then and just created another precinct right then, and then we wouldn't be here today. So you're right. We need to check the lawyers to find out why they didn't catch it, but we were going to have to do this anyway based on the size and the growth of that area.
Excuse me.
Well, but not right this minute.
No, we would have already, we would have probably had.
In other words, why are we doing it right now? We anticipated it. If we anticipated growth, this was an emergency to get this done today.
I told Tyner, hey, you need to get with the commissioners and look at these precincts. He said he would do it, and it never came
It
up.
should have been done.
It should have been done.
Do we know?
Well,
So again, that's.
look, it's all about making processes better.
Well, hey,
So,
that's,
you
this
know,
is
I
the
think that
commissioner's
that's,
court. That's y'all's process. So
We
we
call
can
for
give
the
you the
vote.
information, and if you choose not to do it, so don't bring our offices into,
I agree with you.
I mean, it's
agree with
really,
you.
because we're helping to clean this up.
I agree
Excuse
with
me,
you.
Kara?
I agree.
Yes.
Do we know what, out-of-pocket money we're out?
Oh, I
for?
have no, that's,
Does anybody?
I don't
no
think we-
idea.
I don't think we're out of pocket money.
Well, it's
I
gonna
don't-
cost us something
You just got
to,
a new precinct that you don't have doesn't cost, I mean, there's no out of pocket money here that I know of anyway.
all right.
Kevin would let us know if there's anything. He may have an opportunity to speak about it.
Yeah, no, there's no out-of-pocket money on this. The only thing this was doing was we could not, we can't send the voter registration cards out until this matter is corrected. And it's been done, so we've been sitting on and waiting on this, and that's the reason for the sense of urgency on this. But as far as there being expense, no. But I do agree with you. I mean, I forwarded Iday and Karen, I think yourself, Judge, the language from that the Secretary of State sent us, and it's not legalese. It's very plain and simple.
Right.
You cannot split a precinct. So, yeah, the attorneys definitely should have picked
Yeah,
up
we
on
should have
this.
caught it. All I'm
Yeah.
saying is that it doesn't matter
But it doesn't matter at this point.
at this
but we just
point.
gotta-
We just need to get it
We
done.
gotta get it done and move on.
So you have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And then,
Aye.
there's an executive session, but there's no agenda items after it, and I don't think that we have any other business to conclude or to conduct. I'm looking, no further business. Is there any adjournments in memory today? Hearing none, we are adjourned, and the time is 9:55.